Thanks again, Charles.
Oh, you're welcome. What's up, everybody? Sensei here. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Welcome to another video. And we have a treat tonight. We have Rahime Moasser. Thank you so much, dude, for coming on. I'm
My
telling
pleasure.
you. Yeah, man. So we talked a little bit earlier. And wow, man. I was like, dude, we could have just did a whole show just on the phone call we had. You know, we vibed really good. And so this is going to be a treat. I want to thank everybody coming in. Make sure you come in. Please, if you have not, go sub to his channel. Rahime puts out excellent content. Hit the video, give us a like. That way it goes up. We can beat this YouTube algorithm and you could see some. Yo, Spartacus, what's happening, brother? Hey, Spartacus, give me a 1 in the chat if the audio is good, please. I dropped my microphone down on the ground and broke it. So I'm micless tonight, so I'm using a computer mic. Give me a 1 in the chat if you could hear me, please.
And good evening, everybody.
Number one, thank you. Number one, awesome. So we're just going to wait a couple more minutes. We'll just shoot the breeze a little bit here and let a few more people come in. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. This is going to be fun. And this is what I love about the EUC community, right? It's just like-minded people getting together, and we're just going to shoot the breeze tonight. We're going to have a good time. And, you know, if I wouldn't ride at EUC, if you wouldn't ride, we would have never met. You know what I mean? Yeah, we talked about that earlier, man. And this is one thing that I love about the EUC community. And I do want to make this statement here, and then we'll kind of slide into everything. I'm going to make an analogy. Say if you take your electric unicycle and you pick that thing up over your head and you slam it off the ground and it breaks into 10 pieces, right? You pick up those 10 pieces, it's still going to be an electric unicycle. It might be in different pieces, it might be fragmented, but it might be broken, but it's still an electric unicycle. And that's the same thing with the community. It might be a little dysfunctional, the EUC community. You're going to have different groups. You're going to have people that like different things, likes and dislikes. But no matter how it is, how broken it is still a community. And I still love it. I still love it. And I love being part of it. Again, if I wasn't part of it, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have saw your content. And let me tell you, everybody, he has a lot to offer, man. So I went and I took a peek behind the curtain to see some of the other things that he does. And man, I'm telling you, this is going to be a great show. So I want to thank everybody. Again, Spartacus. Oh my goodness, Nelson. Thank you so much. Lucky boy. All right. So here we go. Buckle up. Make sure your chairs or your seats are up in the upright position. Tray tables are up. We're about to take off. So, Rahime, how did you get into riding EUCs? What brought you into wheel life?
Well, through my life, I've always been like an outdoorsy person, exploring and getting around, and always had a means to influence getting around faster. You know, you can see more in a short time, from bicycles. All right. Back in high school, I used to ride my skateboard for my 4 years of high school, back and forth to school every day, and it was a means of transportation. And would dream of having such a thing called like a one wheel.
Right.
And it seems that my dreams come true in my life for sure. And so there it was, and I was on that and having the time of my life, and uh, looking forward to the future again, because I felt that I was experiencing, progression and cutting edge of technology. And sure enough, here comes, well, what exceeds a one wheel in a way in EUC? And so I did my research on the EUC, started watching, especially with YouTube nowadays. Oh, Lord, you can learn what Einstein took a lifetime in 2 weeks with YouTube. And so I absorbed the EUC as an upgrade to the one wheel. We're always going to love the one wheel for sure. We'll never get rid of it.
Right.
Uh, and found the best, because I always go after the best. And, you don't have to go back and do it twice.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too.
Master Pro. And so I signed up for it
And that's
as I was
what
ordering.
right? You're riding the Master Pro? Master Pro,
Yeah.
that's what you're riding? And what
Yeah.
version is that? The V2?
V2, yes, sir.
All right. All right.
Charles, when I ordered it, I accepted the purchase because I was so excited. But then while I was getting ready to drop the send or purchase, they had said that the V2 was coming out. So I went ahead and stopped that and waited an extra 3 months to get that version, just to be on that cutting edge.
Oh, I got you. Right. And your first, now you said you started out on a one wheel, and then you had what? Your first wheel EUC was what, a 14D?
No, sir.
No, you got the
I went straight for the Master Pro
Oh,
V2.
okay. Yeah, you jumped head first into the water. Okay. Nice. Nice. Now, how long have you been riding?
Well, probably a year is
Okay.
all.
All right,
Yep,
nice.
one year, and it was highly intimidating. And there was a time, I gotta say, that I questioned, "Is this for me?" You know, everybody's got their
I did the
story.
same thing. I did
That
the
where I sit now, though, it's definitely for
It's
me.
worth it.
Thank you very much.
It's worth it. Yeah, I tell anybody,
Love it.
people learn quicker than others. If you're struggling a little bit, just stick with it. Because I know when I started, I was like, man, did I waste my money? I can't I'll never learn how to ride this thing. And then you just stick with it. And I give it a little bit of time, and it goes fairly quick. Now, again, I've been subbed to your channel for a while. I watch so much EUC content. It's probably 90% of the stuff I watch on YouTube is EUC content. So I did see your channel. So I want to share something with the viewers. You're getting a sneak peek of it in the background there, but I want to show you something. I was blown away by this right here, man. So everybody sit back, relax, and check this out. That is awesome. So will you explain to everybody that's watching what that is, how you came up with this idea, what inspires you to even create something like this? Give us some details, man, because I was blown away with, I mean, that's some ingenuity right there, man.
I appreciate it. Well, excuse me. Pretty much, it's a recumbent trike, is what it's called. And on the back of that, well, let me walk you around over here. That over in the corner, sure y'all can see, was what was on the back, and it was just a straight pedal device.
Okay.
But so I've been, practicing with my Master Pro and all that, and been wanting to get a little bit more mile an hour with it. I'm topped out at about 43 on my feet,
Okay.
and wanted to experience a little bit more and feel a little bit safer too at the same time. And I saw a gentleman riding one of these. That there's a bike trail that goes up and down, and I was like, I was wondering, would that be if I was to install one on the back, but never to make it in a way that I couldn't detach it. So it comes on and off for sure. There's only 4 bolts that holds it, and pretty much that's what I came up with. I can show you a little bit.
Yeah, dude, that's impressive. And you
But
said you can detach that quickly too, right? You said what,
yep,
just bolt?
and there's just 1, 2 on this side, 3, 4, and it just comes off, and you go take your one wheel back, and you go play with your one wheel again.
Wow.
You want to get back on it, you just drive up to it, pick it up, set it on it, put your 1 plate, 2 plate, and your 2 bolts back in, and you're back on down the road.
Now, how do you accelerate and decelerate on it? How do you do that?
All right, so these are your control. So just imagine, my theory was to transfer a human standing on here, to put the control of a human, to transfer that. So what I did, I made these control arms levers that went through this cable all the way up to the front.
Wow.
and it's going to mimic like you're riding the bike. So if you were to mimic the pedal forward, it goes forward because
That
when you
is
tug, when
crazy.
you pull here, this chain pulls and it pulls on this cable, which in turn mimics a person leaning forward by pulling forward. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, there's forward and then to go backwards, you just like pedal backwards, and it goes backwards. Yeah, just
That
like
is, dude, that is wicked. Wow. I'm like a little kid. Wow.
yeah, really good heavy duty cables on it, and it's just in the rough now, just making sure everything's working fine. This has been an upgrade. I improved the frame and the step. I dropped my lower center of gravity. I was experiencing a little bit of wiggles up on top end,
Oh yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
but that stabilized and did a little bit of upgrading on my joints right here, which makes it really unique because you couldn't have just one hinged joint here because then you would never get it away from the wall. So by having the universal, it makes it real universal to do that because not only does it pivot this way, but when it drops in, it can pivot out so you can accept onto the pedal and this unique angle. See, yeah. And for instance, just to show it, if I was to turn it off, you'll see it bow.
Okay.
Yep. And you see how it just relaxes.
It just relaxes right up. Hmm.
Yeah. And then when you go to fire it back up, you'll see it stabilize. Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome, man.
And at all times, you know, the control you can just walk away from because it just wants to stay level at all times. It's not going to move unless you influence its level. So you can, you know, you're safe. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
And here's forward again. Here's backwards. Hey, 50 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. Don't do it. But
Dude,
that's pretty
when
the
I
gist
first,
of it.
I was like, how? I was like, how did he get that to work? How did he get that to work? And yeah, and
And another big part of it, the build, Charles, was so that, you know, with our sports being in the quote, you know, adrenaline, you know, stuff, it's pretty extreme sometimes, and you're often out in the weather conditions and all that. So sometimes it's quite windy for EUCs to be out there riding
yeah,
at, you know, specific speeds. Well, not for that. You can do that in the windy seasons, in the, you know, colder weather. You can gear up a lot heavier and still get out there and ride and have fun.
right, right. Well,
It's another option to go out and play when typical conditions for EUC riding isn't allowed, you know?
yeah, because you paramotor as well, so you know about the winds.
Oh
And
Lord, yeah, you're a weatherman.
for the years that I've been riding, I tell people wind is not your friend. If it's at your back, that's one thing,
Oh
but
yeah,
at your back
never
is
works out that way.
right. Because you notice it if you're riding one way, the wind's at your back, and then you're coming back home, and you feel that headwind, it can bring you to a standstill. Headwinds are horrible, and then when you get those crosswinds, those are the kind those will cause you to wipe out.
Especially when you're on a leader wheel, you know, you're not going 10, you know, Kingston 14D speeds.
Yeah, you're
You know,
moving.
you're approaching 50 miles an hour, you know, and at those crosswinds, they'll patch you over for sure.
They will take you out. I know I was just riding on the side streets. I was doing probably about 30 miles an hour. And I'm going down. It was a nice summer day, and the wind actually came down between two houses down the driveway and just pushed me out in the road. You understand? So I tell any rider, be very careful in the wind. The wind is no joke. That's why, like, I don't ride seated a lot, but seated riding is a must learn, on an EUC. It'll save your life.
So you understand windy conditions and you can appreciate the more safer feeling and being you would be on this and still be out there. You see, that's my option for this build. Also, you can still go out and play that day, even if the winds are gusting 25 miles an hour. You're safe. Go out, have fun. You know, you won't go out there on a typical day of winds like that.
Right. I normally check out the wind before I ride. You know what I mean? Because stand up on the EUC, basically, you're like a billboard riding down the street. I'm just being honest. All that wind smacking you in the chest. They're not the most aerodynamic thing, you know. So
Master Pro,
yeah.
so high, sure.
Again, we want to thank everyone that's tuning in. Come in, hit the like button. And again, this is Rahime. Dude, thank you again for coming on. EUC Vibes is in a house. No limit to rides in the house. Nelson, Vibes, Spartacus, thank you.
Hey, thanks everybody.
What's going on? Lucky Boy. Again, everyone, thank you so much.
What's up, Lucky Boy?
And this is what makes, dude, this is what makes EUC community so special, man. It's just like this. What I'm trying to do now is just meet the riders. Every week, get a different rider on the show. Let's talk, let's converse, see what makes you tick, what you like, what are your dislikes. And that's it. It doesn't matter if you have a big channel, small channel. I don't care. I'm here. I'm down to talk with anybody. And yeah, man. So let's keep on.
You touched base on it earlier, though, about the community part of it, the social part of it.
Right.
It's a big thing. We humans are meant to communicate and socialize and inspire.
Right.
And all of the above, and get you off the couch. In other words, out living, and I like to inspire too, for sure. And another thing I would like for this EUC and all the equipment stuff to happen to our society is that the price was to just simply drop out, and you would see the community grow like that, because that everybody would jump on it, and that'd be one big thing I wish would take place, is that they would drop these prices down, make it so much more affordable for everybody, kind of feel guilty sometimes going through crowds.
Yeah. For me, I have a price that I'm not going. I said I'm not paying over $3K for a wheel. That's just me. So I try to find the best deals that I can. I already told you what I'm going to get. We're going to keep that under wraps.
I say that.
So within the next 2 weeks, I will have a new wheel coming in. I'll do some videos and stuff on it, but I got a mega deal to put a smile on my face. So I will share.
Yeah, I'm pretty jelly over here too. I'm gonna be researching my next one a little sooner. Just on that. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Nothing
well overdue.
So we're talking about the community. What is on your to-do list in 2024? More group rides, more events. What are you looking to do to kind of expand and get out there a little bit? So what's on the agenda for you?
Well, 2024. I'm an iron worker by trade, certified welder. I own a muffler shop in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, real close to the National Harbor, within bike trails distance to enter. And so my main goal for all of this EV is Washington, D.C. area cruises. And I've been a few times already with my Kingston 14D, a lot more accessible and close proximity riding, for sure, being that it's smaller and all. But the sights and the paths and the community and the people and the environment, it's going to be a beautiful thing. And especially group ride outs, for sure, in the Washington, D.C. area. There's multiple groups that I've been tangible to already and consulting with and setting up for the near future, for sure. But anticipating my new mid-size wheel, though. I'm a little nervous taking my master out there. I just don't think my skill level's up for that close of proximity. And to be on the safe note, it could be a real dangerous thing if not in total control. So that's why I'm going to wait on that next step, for sure. But definitely more group ridings in Washington, D.C. area.
Nice. And you said you want to stay within about 88 pounds, you said, around in that area?
Right around. I'm looking at the extreme. If nothing comes up to my flavor before my purchase time runs out, I'll probably end up going with the extreme.
That's a good wheel. Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
I've seen some good people already riding it and enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah. Well, dude, they got y'all, man. They always riding wheels. EX30s.
I love them guys, man.
Yeah, they're rocking out there in Cali. Now, as far as DC goes, Shango, DC groundings, man, you got to make that in 2024. I went not to the last one, but the one before that, as my plans fell through for the last one I had, but that ride was epic. So put that on your to-do list. I
Yeah.
will be there in 2024 at the DC groundings. Yeah, he puts on a phenomenal event. I know he does it in DC and he does it out in Chicago as well. I don't know if I can make the Chicago one. I'll definitely
Well, you
try.
stay in touch with me. Give me the shot, and if you're gone, that
I'll
makes it half
definitely-
easier to go, and we'll team up. We'll
Yeah,
go.
yeah, man. It was, and the people, man, it was just from all over, man. Met some epic people. And again, everyone just keeping that positivity. It was fun, man. Probably one of the best events I've been to. I had a really, really great time. And I always have to plug my hometown of Pittsburgh. Ben out of Pittsburgh. He's part of the Pittsburgh
Okay.
Pittsburgh One Wheel. He puts on a phenomenal tour of Pittsburgh. Do not sleep on Pittsburgh. Anyone in here that rides, you got to put Pittsburgh on your to ride list. I'm telling you, man, it's a little bit of everything. Trails, the whole system through there is fantastic. I had a great time in Pittsburgh. So if you get a chance, definitely ride in Pittsburgh. Let's see what we got here. Electric Unit's like, oh, we'll just pop up some of these comments here real quick. We're gonna run through. We always got Spartacus. What's up? He's always in the trenches with us, man, all the time. And we have this. Shout me out, please, on YouTube. Lucky boy, you are on the tube, baby. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for stopping in. First, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? And we got Nelson in here. Spartacus says that is next level. As far as your the recumbent bike with the master hooked up to it. Now this is patent pending. Yeah, dude, you might want to grab a patent for that thing. That's a really good invention you got there. Electric Unicycle Venture says, I would love an option as far as having your recumbent. Hey Mel, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping in. Vibes again, what's happening, brother?
The Master Pro.
Vibe says this turns the Master Pro into a good wheel. Yeah, man, the Master Pro, you really got to be on top of your game. I say to ride that wheel aggressive. It's a beast. It's a beast of a wheel. But once you get the hang of it, though,
Yeah, once you get the hang of it, it is intimidating, but keep the faith and be patient and wait on the aha moments that you will have. You will experience aha moments and you'll be like, oh man, I wish I'd have known that. So just be patient with her and you'll love it. There ain't nothing like it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, it's comfort.
That's my baby.
The range, the range is phenomenal. It's a comforting ride. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Again, and something we have to bring up too, and we had mentioned this earlier. We were talking on the phone for a bit. People have to realize every wheel has a purpose. You understand? Like your 14D has a purpose, the Master, the Mini, the Extreme. You just have to find out what you're going to ride most of the time. If you're going to do street, if you're going to do trail.
Well, what's going on that day?
Exactly. And I hate to say it, you hear riders say, I'm just going to get one wheel and done. No, you're not. No, you're not, man. I said this.
You may tell her that to get you in it.
Right?
but then you'll sneak one. I know. But yeah, you may tell her that, but that it's not a fact because you can't do that. No, especially with I mean, ain't no way a 14D is gonna keep up with the Master Pro. See, what are you gonna do? So you gotta have that option.
You gotta have the option. And My biggest thing
And
now
see,
is
this is an option here too, also
right,
is my point. I mean,
right,
it's not destroying one or the other. It's just a collage, you know.
yeah,
It's options, options.
exactly.
Say, I mean, hypothetically, it's a joke. We're riding a trail and we're going down an alleyway and we got to get out. And the alleyway it dead ends, but there's only just a little corridor to get through. So you take four bolts off and you drive through now. You're safe again. See what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
See, just another option again.
And then the
And
thing is too, I need suspension. So I love non-suspension wheels, but I know when I went to Pittsburgh, I was like, man, I got to get some suspension. And like even New York City, a lot of the places, it just makes the wheels safer. It's a more comfortable ride. So that's
yeah,
that's my next purchase. But
Dawn hit that. Dawn hit that on your last feed, right on the button. It's a major safety factor, Charles, for
yeah,
sure. Welcome.
yeah, it's for stuff you don't see.
Dawn.
Easier on your back, easier on your knees. So it'll help you out long term. But for anyone watching, if you've been riding for a while, you already know. If you have not, there's a wheel for every scenario. You just have to figure out what you're going to ride. Think about it. You don't need top speed riding trails. You're not going to go ripping through a trail 55 miles an hour. I'm just saying you can try it, but eventually you're going to smack into something. So a street wheel, a trail wheel are two different things. Find out what's best for you, or if you can find a median. But you're definitely going to need multiple wheels.
This is one so far. I typically go down into Washington with just
Mhm.
to cruise around in close proximity. I mean, you can ride amongst people on a sidewalk for sure.
Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah. And
you're
it's not imposing. It's not too big. And most people, you glide past them, they don't even, by the time you're gone, by the time they figure out what you're on anyway.
exactly. Yep. It's not got a. It's only got like a 15-mile-an-hour top speed on her, but and a real decent range. And it's got some nice music on it that I kind of like. But it's like Charles was saying. It's two different style wheels in so much comparison difference for sure. And they're deciding on what you're going to be doing for that day, what style riding, what conditions, to have a situation where you're going to be using a smaller wheel, but all you got is a big wheel. Oh man, it's going to make for a not so fun of a day for sure. But then to be able to grab the smaller wheel for the small day, it's just an option. That's all.
Yeah, you need that option. I know when I go into New York City, I'm not going to take my Sherman on the bus. I don't even want to take my RS. I'll grab my V2, my Tesla. I could take it on the bus, put it between my legs. No one knows I have it. Get off the bus, bam, slap it down, and I'm slicing and dicing through the city. And some people be like, "Oh man, it's not fast enough, to have a Tesla in the city." I'm like, the Tesla will do 32 miles an hour. Speed limit in New York City is only 25, and I can beat any car through the city on my Tesla, on my Tesla. So those are great commuter wheels. They serve a purpose, but again, the Master, the Commander Pro, the EX30, those are open road wheels. When you want to get up and get giddy up and go, those are the wheels that you want. You know what I mean? You
Those
don't,
are the wheels you show up with.
yeah, you
The
don't want
leader
to
wheels.
you don't want to be on a major roadway on a 14D or a Tesla. Yeah, you don't want to be stuck on that. So right wheel for the job. So we have here. So Easy Vibes is asking, have you ever ridden with two people, one in the seat and one on the wheel? As far, look at that.
If you look back in my videos, I demonstrated that also.
Look at that. I got to go back and check that out.
And totally feasible for sure, because the suspension load stays on the wheel. It doesn't go to the chassis of the vehicle. It stays directly on the
It's
wheel.
right on the wheel. Wow.
Like this. Here's for example. See, that's off. I'm just turning it back on. Okay, we're on. Oh wait, 1 second. Okay, we're on. Step onto it. Make sure you're balanced just like you were. See the suspension working.
That's amazing. Yeah, you could definitely.
But hey, look, if you go forward, it goes forward just like you're already standing.
Wow, that is cool, man. That's like one of those double bikes. You see the people with the 2 seats. That's crazy.
But we made like a scenario video for it that somebody broke down on a riding on one wheel. They ran out of charge, so I came around the corner and rescued them, picked them up, and held the wheel, brought them to safety. Whatever.
That's awesome, man.
Good times, man.
Oh, here's a shout out. Hey, this is Rahime's YouTube channel, The Dreamer 5711. Definitely give him a follow, everybody. Puts up really great content. Really great content.
I appreciate it, Charles. Hey, you too, man. I've had a great time with you so far, for sure. Look forward to doing some riding, man.
Oh, we're gonna ride. We're definitely gonna ride. I gotta add a couple more pieces to my stable, and then we'll get something to go. We'll get something going. What's up, George? Oh, okay. This is a good question here. Vibes is asking, will this trike prevent a cutout?
If a cutout is inevitable, it will happen. But with that cutout, you will be totally safe on this, because I mean the cutout, all that will happen is here's a staged cutout. I'll cut the wheel out.
That's it.
That's it. That's the cutout.
Yeah.
Once you slow down, it'll find its center, and it'll find its center back. It'll find actual level again. And when it wants to go forward, it goes forward, right back to it recovers. You're not going to fall off. And if the tire locks up or acts funny in any way, it's behind you, so it'll drag. You're totally going to be safe. I like to utilize the regen braking on this also through the Master, but it does have 2 individual disc brakes. So I mean, it's redundancy that I base my life and builds out of.
That's cool, man. So I mean, so the thing is, this is well thought out. It's not something that was just slapped together. You really thought things out. Wait, I saw something. Hey, Vibes, what happened? You said you cut out on your RS? I saw it in here. I was trying to put it up. Now I can't even see it. Hold on one second. Let me see this.
Excuse me.
Hold on one sec. Oh yeah, he put this up here. I cut on, dude. Is your RS? You have the Torque RS, right? Vibes. Put that down. I think you have the Torque RS. That's the only problem with the Torque RS, man. If you're a heavier rider, you start getting beeps at like 32, maybe 33 miles an hour on a Torque RS if you're a heavier rider.
Hey, and that's the scenario,
That's crazy.
There's science involved for sure.
Yeah. Oh, look at George. I was thinking about going with a powered rickshaw wheelbarrow. Nice try.
Hey, sky's the limit now, I gotta tell you. Hey, with the proper investor, I could build a space shuttle.
Yeah, and this is what Bob's is saying. Subscribe to Dreamer. Yeah, man. Definitely subscribe to your channel, dude. This is some really great content. Thanks for sharing, Sensei. Always, brother. This is what I'm here to do, man. Just try to bring everybody together.
Just to start. So much more to come.
Well, Vibes, if you're thinking of a bike, if you have a bike sitting around, dude, they sell EUC bike kits, man. Good ones that you can put together fairly simple. Get you a good one, though. You don't want to skimp out on it, and get you, make sure you get good batteries and motor and everything.
Yeah, but don't hesitate. One life,
Right. Don't wait for anything to come to you. Go get it.
I've got a saying, people are like, man, why do you do this crazy stuff, And I like to say, well, I'm living. Well, I also like to say, I take risks in life, not to escape life, but to prevent life from escaping me. See, had I not have went on that for a ride, or went on that for a ride, or went on that for a ride,
dude,
I would have missed all that in my life.
Explain to people what that is, because I don't think everyone knows.
That's a paramotor. Can you see that, Charles?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tilt down a little. But anyways, I got a 23-foot material wing. It's on my YouTube channel. You will be able to see that I inflate up and practice and train and all. And I fire my engine up once I get the wing up over my head. And the engine starts to spin and I start running forward. And I pull down a little bit of power and we go straight up in the sky. Personal air. This is a powered paramotor.
Yeah, dude, that is on a bucket list. Now, how long you've been flying, and how long did it take you to learn how to fly?
I self-taught myself again from the YouTube. Yes, sir. Uh, 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 it probably took me about a year before I got off the ground because there are a bunch of steps that you must accomplish prior to even attempting to do that. You know, about like kiting the wing and really learning how to operate this device completely. And then from there, I started flying. I've got about 18 hours of flight time
Okay.
in the sky. This unit here itself, on a full tank of gas, you can be up there for 3 hours of flying. Yep.
And what's your speed? What's your cruising speed? And what's your top speed?
Cruising speed is about 30 miles per hour.
Okay.
Top speed is about 40,
Okay.
45, pushing it with a speed bar. But it's real low and slow. And say if you're up there, good say 500 feet, 1,000 feet, and the engine breaks or something. You know, our equipment is the best of the best for sure. But even the best does break. So your
Right.
altitude, safety and altitude, fly high, live long is the motto.
It makes sense because you can glide in. If you're flying low,
Oh Lord, and that's what I say. You come in at about 5 to 7 miles per hour with no engine, so you're
right.
safe. See, and yep, it's another thing that lets me experience life in a whole way. Yep, mind, body, and soul. Hello.
Now, now I saw a guy make one. I don't know if you can buy it, like an electric power motor.
They do sell electric
Or paramotor. I'm sorry, paramotor.
parameter. They do sell them,
They do.
and
Okay.
and they're pretty cool. The only problem with those so far at this moment in time with technology is the weight. They're just so heavy.
So effing heavy, the batteries and
The
everything. Yeah.
batteries.
Yes, the batteries. Five says a paramotor with an EEC attached to the legs, take off and land.
Hey, he sounds like me thinking now. I
Yeah,
mean, come
dude,
on.
that's
Hey,
good.
let's bolt that wing to that trike right there. How about that?
That'd be awesome. Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah.
And bolt the fan to the back of it, and we'll be good to go.
He says with a parachute or squirrel suit. I always wanted to do that too. The
Oh, wingsuit.
tank suit. I always wanted to try that. Always wanted to try that. Yeah, man. All right, let's see. And we also spoke about. You said you love the music of the King song of the 14D. So when you're riding, where does the music take you, man? I mean, to me, I
Well,
always have music playing when I'm riding.
say it again. What's playing?
You like the music of the King song wheels, like the King song.
Oh yeah, just in general music.
Yeah.
Uh, and I like that Kingston incorporates, excuse me, speakers on their wheels often. You know, that's a perk. You know, somebody said, what would they want on their ideal wheel? One added feature I would like on mine would be, a speaker system. It's not a big deal, but as far as music and what it does for me, to me, I said once before that, music to me is like my Bible in reflection of, good art, songs and stories behind them. There's some beautiful things in there that can be taught and you can learn some good lessons. But as far as when I'm writing and listening to music, I mean, it really puts me in a groove. Uh, it helps me uh, uh, acquire that Zen mode that you really want to be in when you're on these. You really got to be comfortable and just relax, and helps with my carving and just helps me get away.
Nice, nice. Now we also spoke about the and I loved your answer. I was like, no, no, don't say. If King Song called you up, was like, Raheem, we want to work on a wheel with you. What would be your ideal wheel? What would be your specs, the battery? What would be your design if the sky was the limit to create your own wheel? What would you do?
Uh, I think the first thing I would do would be to make one affordable for everybody to buy so that we could all come together and have the time of our life because what they're missing I feel guilty sometimes driving by a crowd or going by a skate park and their times are coming and I tell them all because they look at me and I look at them I'm like man don't worry times are gonna come and you're gonna get yours too you keep up the good work and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But as far as the ideal wheel, you know, like most things in my life, you know, I don't like to do twice. And so when I decide on doing something, I like to do the research, and it's all in reflection of the absolute best, so
Gotcha.
that I don't have to go back and do what everybody else does when they go out and buy something immediately. You know, oh, I got to upgrade this, I got to fix that, I got to buy this, I got to check this out. Well, what I did, I put the faith in one of the best companies I feel, and went for their best version. And
Gotcha.
I haven't looked back yet. Serenity now at this point. You've done your research, you've made your purchase, accept it to be, and adapt. And at the level of the wheel is in comparison to my level of experience. Well, I've got a lot to learn, and I've got more time than anything to do it. And that's the fun part, brother.
But that's the
See,
fun
I
part.
will never exceed that for a long time. I will always be learning. I will always be having aha moments for a long time to come. I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah,
Bless.
me either, man. Just I tell people you get in where you fit in. If you buy the best wheel that you can afford. This goes out to anyone that is getting in wants to get into the sport or anyone that's in the sport and you feel that maybe your wheel's inadequate or it's not the best wheel. Get in where you fit in and enjoy riding. You can have fun on any wheel. One thing that I don't like where I see a lot of the companies going is you should be able to get a wheel. If you're paying 4 grand for a wheel, you should be able to yank that wheel out the box and just ride it. You shouldn't have to add a fairing kit. You shouldn't, yeah, right. You shouldn't have to add, change the pedals, change the tire, do this, do that. You should be able to yank that thing out the box and ride it. Because the advice I give most people is, okay, you get a wheel. Normally, you're going to have to put another $300 minimum into the wheel to get it road. You know what I mean? So it's like it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. You should be able to purchase that wheel and just ride it.
Well, I, I totally agree, totally. But now, in some cases, I'm okay and with it. But like they want to change the pads because they're the type of riding, jumping, and stuff. That style, I'm really not. I don't do. I just haven't done it. I'm not really good off road. I haven't really tried it. Is my point, and I do look forward to experiencing that. Like, but for the time being, the system that I got with my master, I mean, I've got absolutely no complaints. Really loving it for sure.
Nice.
Yep.
And what I'll say too is if you've never like did any trail riding, you don't have to get on these single track, like
Right.
your pro nothing, just something simple. Sometimes you can ride around in the park and you'll see like the mulch trails and stuff like that. Start hitting some stuff like that. And I tell you what, man, you start riding trails, you get on a street becomes easy, man. Your riding game will go up like tenfold, man. Yeah.
Brother Charles, I hear at the house I have a dirt track that runs around my house. In my videos, you'll see that
I
I do.
see.
I know I ride my one wheel and my Kingston 14D. And like you just said, it is a conditioning track being off road like that. And then when you take, after putting 4 laps on that, you go out on the asphalt. Oh, it's like heaven on earth for
Right?
sure.
Yeah, it's a complete
Excellent conditioning.
yeah, it does. It really, when you're on street, especially if the road is smooth, you're cutting, you're slipping, you're dipping. But when you're on trails, you're constantly making minor adjustments. The wheel's slipping out, you know what I mean? You go around a turn, a wheel wants to flop. So you're constantly fighting. So it conditions your body to be ready for almost anything. Then once you get on like some smooth asphalt, you just go, man.
And then again, I do look forward to going off road though, for sure.
Yeah.
I was watching another video, just getting caught up for this evening, of them guys out in California, guys and girls, Dawn and Roger and Marty and all them. But anyways, brother, they ride, man.
Yeah, dude.
They
I
go through some
want to
shit.
head
Roger takes them through hell, I gotta say. I love it though. Such inspirational people though, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's for example, my God, what they do.
See, and
I've got a lot to learn.
you have the perfect wheel for that.
Well, I know.
Your master, yeah, you got, because you need wheel that you can put. It's comfortable. You got the suspension, and you got that big battery on there, man. You need
Lord.
that perfect wheel. And Ginger said it best, man. Yeah, wide open places, man. I know I love riding in New York City. I do, but I tell people, I always say this. I try to say this on every video. New York City, take your time when you come here and you ride for the first time. Do not try to keep up with the Joneses, man. You get taken out. Be very careful. But New York's it's a beautiful place to ride, though. I mean,
Oh, I can imagine.
you ride
I'm
down the
intimidated.
avenues through the canyons, and you got these, the skyscrapers, and then you're looking up. It's a beautiful place to ride. It's just you got to be very careful.
That's what I'd pull out for that to start, just to get my feet wet.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yep. Take the little Kingston out.
dude. I've ridden the Tesla probably in a city more than any other wheel that I have, more so than my Sherman and my RS. I love riding that wheel in New York City.
Yeah, I love the city riding too. It's a blast for sure. It's a good flow once you get your rhythm going and you get connected with the lights.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, yep. Just rip down a block. So what do we have? We are just about an hour in. If anyone has any more questions, man, start dropping them down in the comments. Uh, for me,
I appreciate it.
yeah, I mean, for me, definitely looking forward to 2024. We already discussed. I will definitely be in DC this year. I felt really bad because I had, promised Shaniel that I would come down last year, but life gets in the way sometimes. So I
Yeah.
have to take care of a few things. But I will definitely, if you go to DC, I will see you in DC. If you're in Maryland, you're not far from me. You're only 3.5 hours, I think.
Yeah, you let me know y'all got an event. I'll come up there one time too, brother. That's for
I
sure.
can come down. We can get a ride in.
Yep.
But and this is what it's all about, everybody. It doesn't matter how big or small your channel is. I think the more that we group together, we grow together, and then just enjoy, what we do. For me, riding, and I've heard other riders say it's like medicine to me. It just relaxes. Like honestly, dude, I'll be sitting in here. I'll look over at my wheel. It'll be 12 midnight. I'll go jump on my wheel and go out and ride. I'll go do 12, 15 miles on my wheel, come back in and just be like, man, just completely relaxed. So it's definitely like therapeutic,
I
especially when
was
there's nobody on the road.
Charles. I was out there 2:30 about I think it was like 3 nights ago. 2:30 in the
Right?
morning doing some night testing on
See?
it
Yeah.
on the main road because that when there's nobody there. But man, it was right cold. But you dress for it, and with that being so comfortable, you can put on tons of layers, and you ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
But what the problem I was having, it was so cold, my shield was fogging up. But yeah, it was a blast, all hours of the night for sure.
Okay, we got one here. This is George. Saying they plan to go to DC during cherry blossom season, 2 to 3 days window every spring. Yeah, dude, and I've seen those videos online. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That would be a must ride. That would be a must ride. Definitely. Let's see what we have here. I think we zoomed through. And that's something else. Hold on, let's see what Stan says here.
Hey Charles, I need 1 minute.
Yeah, do your thing.
Hydrate.
Yep.
Hydrate.
So Stan, I see it's you're saying it's unusual that companies are releasing wheels so late in this year. If so, wouldn't purchasing a wheel now be a gamble because the drop in a wheel happens in the spring? My thing with me, Stan, and I'll answer this is nuts, man. I try to live by what I preach. Not preach, but what I say. My next wheel, it's already it's on hold. I should have it within like the next 2 weeks. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people what I'm getting. But I always like to say, trust the tried and tested wheels. You know what I mean? I don't always have to have the newest, most shiny thing. So my next wheel, you'll see. You'll see. I think people are gonna be like, what? You got that? Dude, I got a mega deal on a wheel. But I totally understand what you're saying. It's I don't think it's a gamble. I mean, there's still a lot of great wheels out there, even if the wheel, because it's getting to the point now where companies are dropping wheels so fast. Within 6 months, people are saying the wheel is almost obsolete or it's old already, which makes absolutely no sense to me that a wheel that's 6 months old is considered to be an old wheel. And I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm just saying, no, there's still great wheels out there that are a year old. They've worked out all the kinks out the wheels. And I would tell anybody if you can get a great deal on an older wheel, get it. Get it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yep. Majority of it's based on the mileage that's on the
Mhm.
board, anyways. Yep. You look at that, and majority of the stuff that's out there, it's good stuff.
Heck, George, I tell you what, dude, if you can find you an OG Sherman for $900, get it. Get it. If it's in good condition, get it. I have an OG. I'm looking at my OG Sherman right now. I love that thing. I just made a seat for it. I love that thing, man. That wheel does everything well. Everything well. And another thing what people have to understand too, electric vehicles are different more so than gas. Uh, Maintenance is low. If you're not beating on your wheel is going to last you a long time. Your wheel is going to last you, especially if you're like a cruise rider. Think about it. You got people putting 16, 18,000 miles, 25,000 miles on wheels, man. That's a lot of miles.
Yeah, I think I've only got 761 on mine.
Oh, it's still a baby.
Still a baby.
Yeah, it's still a baby, man.
Well, I'm proud of it though, for sure. I'll get a rack of them this year though. I've come a long way from last year for sure.
Right. The more you ride, the more you're going to get comfortable. Just put the time in,
Well,
take
see,
your
that's
time.
where I'm at. I'm pretty comfortable. I just got to put time in.
Yeah,
Yep. And
that's
be
it.
waiting on those aha moments. And the wind's not being too bad over when I'm going a little bit on
Dude, I hate
60.
riding a freaking wind. I hate riding. I do. I'm not. It's just
I
my.
thought it was me.
Nah, it's me too. I always tell people, and I try to say this every show just for safety. After I got hit by that SUV, my whole demeanor changed about riding. You know what I mean? It doesn't take very much for something to go wrong on these things. You know what I mean? So always pay attention to the road, to the people around you, your surroundings, especially the wind. Like I'll see a lot of people with selfie sticks. And I tell people these selfie sticks, it's like a rudder on a plane. You put that thing, and the longer it is, the worse it becomes.
Worse.
All it takes is a little movement, and that wind hits that camera, it'll steer you right out into traffic. Steer you right out into traffic. So I tell anybody, man, when you first learn how to ride or you're learning how to ride, put your camera on a tripod and just capture the footage that way. Or mount it on your helmet or mount it on your shoulder or your bag or something. But learning how to
That's
ride
good
the
advice,
selfie
Charles.
stick is a
Yep.
skill you have to learn.
Yep.
You know,
Keep your hands free. You need all the counterbalancing that
yeah,
you need. Yep. It
yeah,
definitely throws you off for a fact.
it does.
Great,
It
great
really,
advice.
really does. Like I'll see some new riders and they're like trying to get, I'm gonna get some footage, and they're like, I'm like, nah, put the camera down. Put, you know, I'm
Yeah.
just saying to myself, put the camera down. It's not that important. You can make videos anytime. Get your balance.
Learn first, please. Learn.
Yeah, learn first, man. Learn, learn. Yeah, that is a skill. Learning how to ride with a selfie stick, man. No joke. Same thing with your clothes, right? If you're riding, you have your jacket open. If it's hot, I totally understand. But if you're like you're just learning how to ride and that wind catches in your jacket the wrong way, dude, it's a parachute. You see what I'm saying? Or if you're riding and you have different things on and it's throwing your weight off on one side. I'm talking about for like beginner riders. You want to
Yeah,
try to keep your weight balanced on both sides, if it makes any sense of what I'm saying. Because when that
exactly.
wind is coming, yeah,
Yep.
it's not your friend.
Nope.
Unless it's at your back, you're completely fine.
Which is rare. But yeah, there is a spot that I call the training grounds where I've learned a lot more with my master with the higher speeds because it's kind of in a tunnel, and I reflected being like in the city streets, where there's buildings and stuff, and there's a little air tunnel, wind tunnels, in other words. So it's pretty calm there, and the winds are predictable, and that's where I've been able to get my best top speed so far,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a good half-mile stretch right through there, but anything above 35, 40 mile an hour, oh boy, you're
Yeah,
totally vulnerable.
you're jumping
Be careful.
in. Yeah, you're once you get
People
up.
are going out there putting these miles on the videos, 50 miles an hour, but nobody's saying that they're in excellent wind conditions and not being,
Right, right. I mean,
definitely got to take that into consideration.
yeah, you're 100% correct. I mean, when you start getting up above 35, and I've always said for me, as long as my wheel can do 35 miles an hour comfortably, I'm good. I normally don't ride above 35.
Yeah, that's good.
I think the fastest I've been on a wheel was 43 miles an hour on my RS, but that was on an open stretch in a big parking lot, no traffic, and I was just doing speed rips through this big parking lot. But most of the time, my average speed is between like 20 and 35 miles an hour. I fall in that bracket. I'm not a speed demon by any means on my wheels. I know what it's like to hit the ground, you know, at 30 miles an hour, and I know what it's like when you're riding at 30 plus miles an hour and getting hit by something that's going at least 40 miles an hour and weighs, 4,000 pounds plus. You know what I mean? So it's not fun when you get hit or hit the ground at those speeds. So you got to be very, very
Yeah.
careful, man. Very careful. But as far as here's a question by Stanley says, will the 50S batteries be a game changer? For me, it depends on how you ride. I'm a cruise rider. 50E and 50S batteries aren't going to make a difference for me because I don't over push a wheel. Now, if you're a person that races and you need that high discharge quickly, the torque and all that stuff, you're going to notice a difference. But for someone like me, I'm not, I can go with the
Meaning,
50Es because I don't over push a wheel. I don't. That's one thing I said. I'm not going to ask. That's probably why I won't make a good racer. just not, I'm just not going to push the wheel to
hey,
that.
I'm in your corner. I ain't gonna do it either. Hey, it's nice to know that you got all that good stuff,
Mhm.
and but nah, won't use it either.
Yeah, it's not gonna make again, if you race, if you're the type of person where you're
Totally.
these steep inclines and just asking so much out of your will, yeah, it'll make a difference. But for me, not me.
Yeah, I'll take the weight. I'll take the weight reduction.
Yeah, yeah. Uh oh, I'm sorry, we've been talking about like wind and things. Another piece of advice I give riders, if you look in my videos, you'll see that I take this route a lot. And the reason why I take that route, I memorize everything on that route. I know where every crack, crevice, I pretty much know where cars are going to blow through the stop sign. I try to not saying that I know everything, but I try to memorize everything so I don't get taken by surprise. And this is one thing that I learned off the New York riders is they ride those streets every day. They can tell you where every pebble, rock, manhole cover, where everything is. And that's why they're able to navigate those streets the way that they do. So definitely memorize your environment around you, become used to it, and it'll make your riding a whole lot safer. I remember
Good stuff, brother.
when I got the Sherman, I was like, yes,
It's a
took it
nice
into the
wheel,
city,
man. You kicking Sherman around, man.
right? Took the Sherman to Central Park, and I opened her up. I'm ripping down a straight. Now I've been in Central Park plenty of times, but again, it's not one of my main routes. And
I can
that was
dig that.
probably one of the nastiest crosswinds that I got hit with. That thing hit me, pushed me sideways. I mean, I'm like, it was like Mike Tyson hit me. I was like, ugh, get the wheel back up. Okay, I'm good. Slow down. Go up around the corner. Next thing you know, I almost went down again because they have the horse carriages. And those wheels dig those tracks down into the asphalt. You can't see
Right.
it till you're already in it. So there's a couple things that are going to happen. Either one, you're going to try to turn left or right, and that thing is not going to turn. It's going to track you straight. So if there's someone in front of you and you're trying to get out the way, it can track you straight, right? The other one is you hit it and you don't see it and you flop the wheel over. So this is what I'm saying. Certain things, wherever you go, you got to know.
A dry run.
Yeah, you got exactly. Do a dry run. Do a dry run or ride with
Always.
people that that know the area. I know I ride with my boy Cokeet Robinson a lot. So when we're riding, we do simple hand signals. Like if there's a bump coming, you'll see me go like this. He knows that there's a bump coming. Or he'll see if we're riding and I go like this, that means fall in behind me. There's traffic. You know what I mean? Certain things. Everyone knows the
Good
universal stop.
communication.
Yeah, just simple hand signals and things like that will keep you safe on the road.
I sound like we're getting ready to go paramotoring, and we do a pre-flight meeting about what's going to take place and going over our hand signs. But you're definitely right, brother, and that's admirable for sure. Yep. That makes for all that you speak of for a good, safe ride.
Yeah, safe
Safe-
ride, man.
Safety first, no crazy stuff. And being that you've known and been down that trail a few times, you know, you're a good leader, and you can dictate, what to, look for.
Right,
Let
right.
people know too. That's really good, man. I do the same.
You're into, like I said, you're into cars, you're into paramotoring. Um, you love
I'm in filling time with beautiful stuff and to have fun.
yeah, dude. How has that affected you as far as with the EUCs? How has all these things affected you?
The EUC and the skill that I had to acquire. I mean, it's changed my life. It's made me a healthier person. It's made me a stronger person, a more prouder person. Uh, I'm, I'm pretty tickled about acquiring that skill, and for the amount of time that it fills when, say, I get bored and want to go play. Oh, it so fulfills it. The moment I get on it and get around the corner, it's nirvana, heaven on earth for sure. I call it, and I literally go away. Yep, I immerse. Yep.
And that, dude, that is like universal law in the EUC community. You hear so many people say that, and when you try to explain this to people, because a lot of people when they see you riding, first, oh, I never ride that, man. They're so dangerous. I'm like, have you tried it? Have you? It's not. I tell people it's not. It's like riding a bike, really. It's like riding a bike. Once you get it, you get it. But there's nothing like it, man. There's no feeling like it.
Nothing,
Incredible.
nothing. And if this doesn't take place, immersion. If you can't immerse, because that's Borg. That's the name of my wheel. It's called Borg. And if you know about Star Trek, there, yeah.
Baby.
And so to be the best of rider you could be is you really have to assimilate with the machine. It's like the man in the machine.
Right.
You when you connect and you get your zen between the two. Oh, you're unstoppable.
You're
But if you do not assimilate and try to overpower or try to, not be comfortable, it's going to throw you off.
Yeah,
You really got to connect with your wheel.
definitely. Know your wheel, man. So Stan is asking, how did Libra can reduce the weight on the links? Well, they're using different materials, you know, lighter materials.
Lighter materials.
It's not all metal, you know what I mean? So they're using different materials and things like that. High performance, but comparable
Smaller wheel.
wheels remain bloated. Does Librachem have the best engineers? Well, I will say this, right? Listen, everybody, very closely. We know the four main companies. What people don't realize, Librachem, it came from Gotway. It came from Begode.
Pagode.
Yep.
Whoop,
Extreme Bull is nothing but Begode, Gotway. So when they say Librachem has the best engineers, they came out of Begode, man. So it's like you got to give credit to Begode. I'm not saying I do love Librachem. They make great products, but
give credit where credit's due.
you got to give credit where credit's due, man. Yeah. And I do love Librachem. Like I said, I have the OG Sherman. I love the links. The thing with me with the links, I'm just not going to pay them. I'm just not going to pay $4,000. I'm not going to do that. Uh, but I do. I think it's an amazing wheel. What they did with it, the weight, how they brought the weight down and get that performance out of that thing is incredible. But again, you know about building cars. If you want to lower the weight, you got to use lighter materials, strong but lighter. I mean, that's what you have to do. You can't use all metal and expect a wheel to be light. So you have to use different materials. I think weight will definitely drop down again when they put out better battery tech and we come out with lighter batteries. You know,
Yeah, that's going to be the most innovative part of most of our devices for sure. Is the battery technology.
it's there. It's they're holding on to it. It's there. They make batteries, polymer batteries, graphene batteries, salt batteries, solid state batteries. There's a lot of stuff out there. They just have to figure out what they're going to put out. It's all
Right.
money. It's all about the money. Follow the money trail.
Oh, but technology is upon us for sure and exciting. And not to change the subject, but just to add to the conversation just a little bit. But in reflection of Elon Musk with his, he's creating a nuclear powered spaceship, bro.
Jeez Louise, dude.
Nuclear powered, so it's indefinite power. It's amazing, bro.
You travel some distance in that thing. That's nuts.
So there's some really good technology innovation upon us, and that we are going to experience in our generation gap. We're going to be here for a short time. It's not going to be that long,
I mean,
but long enough for sure.
yeah, dude. If you,
We
I mean,
hope it.
Raheem, if you look at it, right, and I always tell people, if you look at cell phones were nothing new. They were using they used to call them field phones. They were using those things in the army years before they hit the civilian market. So when we get stuff and it's put out to the public, that technology is probably about 50, 60 years old. They already have that stuff. They already have it. If you look at electric cars, they had electric cars before they had gas cars, right? So again, a lot of the stuff is old tech that has just been, it's like upgraded. It's upgraded. It's upgraded. So
Upgraded, modified,
yep. Yeah.
just yep, just changed a little bit, added to it, improvements. But like I said, it's already been there. Like electric
Already been there, man.
playback to the
It is.
60s.
Perfect term, playback. It is. It's a playback.
Yeah.
Fan says if Librachem has the best inventory of wheels, why don't they win races? I think having the best inventory, I think that's subjective. It depends on the people because everyone's like and dislikes are completely different. I love Librachem, but if you're looking for top performance wheels, Begode has held that mantle or Godway, depending on what you want to call them, for years. Godway or Begode, they take a lot. They win a lot of races, and I'm not saying people haven't won on Librachem because they have, but if you look at AVS, a lot of the race they're on Begode wheels. It's going to be good to see what the Lynx does now. I think the Lynx has positioned itself to be a really good race wheel, but now you have Extreme Bull coming out with the GT Pro. 168 volt. So it's just like each time someone puts something out, someone's just, you know, it's like the roller coaster war. You know, someone amusement park will come out with a roller coaster. We have a roller coaster that's 300 feet, and then the following season, oh, this new amusement park, they got the new record. It's 310 feet. You know what I mean? They beat
Yeah, I know, brother. Well, and to some it is, and to others it ain't. But I live for it. I'm down. Let's
right.
go for another. You know.
It's good because everybody is. It's competition is good. Everyone's challenging each other. But my thing is, it's not always about the top end speed. Like I don't, for me personally, I don't need a wheel that's going to do 60. So I don't. I'd rather have a wheel that it's comfortable, it's durable, decent weight, not too light where you're jumping all over the road, but it's still nimble enough and stable to keep you safe on the road. Great mileage. You know, I want to see the up and battery pack, that type of stuff. Um,
You
you
don't need
know,
140 miles worth of range because then you got a battery weight of 115 pounds.
yeah, that's
Crazy.
yeah,
You're
you're
never going to use it. I'm personally, I know some people will, but anyway, I got that, but I'm never going to use it.
no, I'm not
So
going to use all that.
that's why I'm really looking forward to my mid range. It's probably going to be the extreme. I don't know. I'm going to come up with something, but it's going to be soon. Uh, 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 you're about what, a week or two out on your new wheel?
About a week or two, maybe 2 weeks. I'm gonna let Santa slide his behind down the chimney and throw it under the tree. But
Exciting.
I got, dude, I got a wicked deal. I got a wicked. I'm always about the deals. You know what I mean? Because it's a very expensive sport that we're in, and again, I have to thank a certain person, but I will do that when the time is right.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I am excited. Let's see what Spartacus has to say here. Star Trek and the Borg got me thinking about Borg EUC costume combo. Ride around and simulated everyone I see. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Hey, that's what's up. But that's my theory is assimilation. Yep. Yep. Me and Borg have assimilated for sure.
Yeah. See, I agree with you, Vibes. The same thing. I think that the Lynx is going to be a really great race wheel. From the video, I never got to demo it, but just looking at what the different videos out there and watching people run it, that's going to be setting some records out on the track. So that's going to be a tough wheel to beat.
Yeah. But I got faith.
Oh yeah, Bagode's already in the lab. They're ready. They're coming.
That's what's got me on pause for sure. But
Have you seen the Michelin U-Pitch tires, which doesn't use air? I haven't seen that, but I have seen airless tires. I've seen some like on YouTube and stuff like that. But I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think they still need to work on that a little bit.
yeah, I don't think the technology is 100% there yet for the diversity in which the rider will be. Because some riders are 300 pounds, some riders are 150 pounds, and that's a big weight difference on a tire that you can't alter tire pressure. See,
You're right, and
you're not going to be able to alter that rubber to compare for the difference, and you're going to be
that's a good point.
At that
That's a
point.
good point. Have you ever, like, you're on your wheel and the tire pressure is too low and you go to turn and you can feel the wheel like do like one of these? So think about that. And you're a heavy rider and you're on a thing that has no air in it. And you go to turn and that thing crunches down underneath you. So that's a really good point. I'm pointing
Yeah.
at you, but that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't think the technology's there just yet for that. I mean, the theory behind it is I love because it's redundancy. It's never going. You're never going to get a flat tire. It's one of our scariest thoughts out there. You know,
Unless you put like a forklift tire on it, but that's not gonna that's not gonna be a comfortable ride.
Change the difference,
Yeah, it's not gonna be. Stan says, I'm not a speedster either, but doesn't speed and range max push innovation for better wheels? It depends, man. I think consistent speed to me is more important than this top end speed. It's like if you're driving somewhere and you have a person, you've seen it. you're at a red light and they're punching it from the red light. Just get up to speed, slow down. Get up to speed, slow down, and you're keeping a consistent speed, and you catch them at the next light.
Oh yeah, turtle and rabbit.
Yeah, so I think consistent top speed is one thing, but I would rather have a wheel that does decent speed and give me more safety features and it's more stable and gives me all the trimmings than having a wheel that can hit 70 miles an hour. The problem is right now is, yeah, you have a wheel that can do, let's say the wheel does 65. Okay, how long are you going to do 65 on a wheel and a battery? You're going to rip through that battery so fast, especially with these higher voltage. And then you ride at that 60 miles an hour, all of a sudden you're going to be cruising at 35 miles an hour before you know it. You understand what I mean? So it's like top speed is one thing in a petrol motor or gas motor, but on a battery power motor, it's different. You can only do it for so long. That's the problem.
And on the flip note, for the diversity to have, different style and types of wheels. Say you're out on the town there, Charles, uh, with the fellas, and it's later in the evening and you happen to be running light for light. Well, power comes into play then and fun. So
Right,
it's kind of like you're drag racing from light to light,
right,
and that becomes
right.
fun. You're not really gonna get up to that 60-mile-an-hour top speed. You can't get that from light to light. But as far as dragging from that light to the next light, bro, you want power,
You want power. You're gonna
work.
lay it down to
That's
the
where I'm at. You see,
right. Exactly,
see, and
exactly.
with a small one, you're not going to have that. You're not
No,
going to when your boys are out there dragging from light to light. You're not going 80 mile an hour, just light to light. You can't go back in the city. But yeah, a blast you'll have at that point and not be left
right.
behind.
Yeah. So again, it depends on what type of
All
ride,
depends on what you're doing.
exactly what you're doing, what you're looking for.
If you're
Um,
getting into this, eventually you're going to have two, three different types. I got to tell you, it's
it's
inevitable.
yeah, it's you can't. I would
Yeah.
tell anybody you're going to have at least three wheels in your stable, at least three, maybe four. So
And you don't have to do them all at once or at all.
no,
But
no, no.
like me and Charles were saying, it's inevitable because it is that enjoyable. And to not have one from the other, you're going to miss out on that level of riding. That's a period. You're not going to take the Master in the DC like that out the gate, but you will take the Kingston, and make the show.
Right. When you're, it's the same thing like in New York, man. I'm not saying they don't ride big wheels up here. They do. But if you're like slipping in and out of traffic, dude, that's why the Nikola was so popular in New York City. You can rip through New York City on a Nikola, even a Sherman. I still think to this date, the OG Sherman up to the V3 is still one of the best footprints of a wheel. It gave you everything, and compared to the newer wheels, a Sherman's small. It's small. It's small. But yeah, man, size does matter, depending on how condensed or how dense the traffic is that you're trying to rip through. I remember I think I said this on the last stream. We were coming from what event did we do? Was it one of the years we did the Broadway bomb, but we were coming from headquarters, Kung Fu Tea, right? It was me. I think U Stride was there. Um, I don't know if Vise was there, but we were heading uptown and Z Wims, New York rider, he was on a Tesla T3. I'm on my RS. I believe Stride was on his EXN, and we're moving. And next thing you know, Z Wims caught us on a Tesla T3. But he rides New York streets every day. You understand what I'm saying? And he's on that wheel, and he's just and he
Flip
ran.
Street.
We're like, where did you come from? He was moving. But again, it depends on how you ride the wheel as well. You know what I mean? You have riders out there that have a fast wheel, but are you going to ride it that way? No, it depends on how you push your wheel as well. So you can have all the speed and power, but if you're not putting it down to the ground, it's just like you see a lot of guys that get these sports cars, right? They don't drive them fast. Yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say. So it's just like you have the power, but are you going to use it? So again, it depends on your riding style.
Well, and yes, But my purchase is that I will purchase the one with the power to have that option. I mean, why purchase something that
That's
not
fair.
have that option? You know,
You
like the
have
same thing about cars. You know, it's like, oh, I'm good. My dream car is a Ford Mustang, but I had to settle for a V6. That makes sense, brother. You know, wait the extra year and get the right Mustang that you want. Get the loaded one. You know, don't go
please,
right to the top.
please. I will say this. I love cars. Now, me, I do have a V6, but I don't have a Mustang. If you're going to buy a Mustang, don't buy a V6 Mustang. Get you a V8, right?
Yeah.
Get the V8. Just save the, like you said, save the money and get the V8. Do not get a Mustang, Camaro.
Well, there's nothing wrong with them now. I'm a Ford fanatic, anyways, and their V6s are badass. They're pretty cool, really good. They're the Ego Boost, turbo, and all that. But a Mustang deserves a V8. Thank you very much.
There's nothing. I've said this so many times. There's nothing like the sound of a good, naturally aspirated
I'm an
V8.
exhaust man. I own a muffler shop, and
You know,
that's my problem, brother. You know, and I do the work on them guys, vehicles that have the V6s too, and I do my best. But yeah, they're coming in asking, could you make it sound like a V8? Ah, how do you do that?
right.
You know what I mean? But I try my best, and you'll never be.
Never. I have, again, I'm gonna get off topic. I'm gonna jump back on topic. I have an '04 Tiburon, and I put a complete custom exhaust on. I did the DC headers. I had arc exhaust all the way back, and dude, that thing, nobody knew what I had. I would pull into a gas station. Guys like, man, what kind of car? That's a Hyundai. I'm like, yeah, dude, that thing sounded crazy, man, crazy.
Hey, Charles, and then you add something like this on it.
Oh, that's the shutoff valve.
Electronic cutout.
Yeah, that's so you can control the sound. What? Yeah, you need that.
It comes with a remote control. Yep, a key fob for forward positioning of opened or closed valves.
So it's not even just on or off. That is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what that is, man.
Something we put on and do. Yep.
Oh
Real
my
nice.
goodness.
Sure.
I had to take my car wouldn't pass inspection. I it was all custom, and it got to the point where Jersey's laws were crazy, and I was going from mechanic to mechanic. Dude's like, buddy, it sounds good, but it's not going to pass. So I had to take the headers off. I cried, dude.
You need the converters back.
Yeah.
Well, it happens. You just got to make with that installation and have to put the other one back on once you get done.
Oh, dude, I thought about it. I got a 2-year stretch.
So stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I need to. I don't need to be getting yanked over. So Stan says, why did King Song abandon the King Song 16S? In my opinion, that was one of the best wheels King Song ever made. The Nikola Plus was a monster. The Nick AR is a monster. I always call the Nikola like the unicorn of wheels, man. Manufacturers should just upgrade on their plot. Thank you, Stan. I've been saying that for the longest time. It's like, okay, perfect example. See, you see how I said before how like when people start asking questions, how it just starts to branch out. Stan, great question. And you chime in on this one too, please, Rahim. The S18, right? I think where King Song, the S18 came out, people rode the wheel. They had their likes and their dislikes of the wheel, right? Instead of coming out with another S18 where they fixed the stuff that people didn't like, they jumped to the S20. Instead of finalizing and making a perfect or close to perfect S18, they tried to reinvent the wheel and they jumped to the S20, and look what happened. Too big of a jump. If they would have just taken, I don't know what they were thinking. And you saw that's when they had the big fire with the S20, and that sent King Song down into the dumps. And it seems like they've been fighting, trying to get back after that whole incident with the S20. Then they had problems with the S22. So I understand what you're saying, Stan. It's like once you get a wheel, fix the minor things that are wrong with it, perfect it, before you start jumping into other stuff. And I agree with you 100%. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why. They did it with, like, think about, they had the MSX, they did the MSP. Right after the MSP came out, they came out with the RS-19, like not even 6 months later. But I'm like, why? It's like
it's almost like it's almost like management has changed within the company, brother. And that's what I'm seeing. And that's where you're seeing then come to now. And you're going to see major improvements for sure. And they're going to be more competitive with the higher end, you know. And but you know, they do have a reputation to regain a little bit more so than what they have. But I wouldn't count them out for sure.
Oh no, I know that no, I wouldn't do that either. The King Song S16 looks really good. You know, if you're coming in, that to me that looks like a commuter rocket. Even though it's 84 volt, to me it's perfect wheel for city commuting. And then the S19 is actually getting really great reviews. I think the only thing with the S19 is that they priced it too high. I think that wheel should be like $2,000, maybe $2,100. They're selling that wheel for like, it was 2,800. I think they brought it down to 2,750, but I still think that's a little high for that wheel. I do. That's my opinion. I think it should be lower.
Well, I agree with you then, man. I think everything should be a lot more affordable.
It should be lower. Okay. We're going to take a few more questions and we're going to start closing this out, man. I told you, man, we rocking and rolling.
Brother, yeah. I'll do it anytime, man.
Awesome. So Hate says, Stan, power isn't everything in racing. The Lynx is lighter. It may have better quality suspension, better handling, and cornering speed. Yeah, man, it definitely, the Lynx is set up well. It's set up well. When you don't have to throw all that extra weight around, it makes a heck of a difference, especially on a rider. Because the biggest thing at one point, it seemed like wheels just kept getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And people were like, oh, man, you can manage a heavy wheel. Yeah, you can manage it at the beginning. But once you're, 15 miles in, it gets heavy. It gets heavy depending on how you ride, especially in
a depending on what kind of riding is going on. If it's open country riding, oh, man, you're going to be in heaven. You'll love it. But if it's close proximity, oh, man, you're going to be wore out. You're going to be wore out, brother.
You're going to wear yourself out. You're going to wear yourself out. So they have to have
our mid-range is out.
Yep. That's where the mid-range wheels, that's where they shine.
Yeah.
That's where they shine. Oh, yes, Dan. V8 Mustang. Yeah, you got to have a V8 Mustang. There's no sense.
I hope I didn't stir nothing up on that one.
That's always a good.
I love all for sure.
No, I love all cars, but dude, I'm sorry. If you're getting a Stang, you get a V8. If you're getting a Camaro, you get you a V8. You're getting a Vet. Well, the Vet's always a V8, but you understand what I'm saying, dude. You can't. No.
But nothing against V6, because one of my favorite cars to date is it's always been the GT, Ford GT, and it rocks a V6.
Okay. Yeah. I have a V6 in my car. It's not the fastest thing. The car is actually pretty quick for what it is.
Yeah.
I've one day we'll talk off camera about that thing. I've done stuff in that car that I really. Yeah, man, I pushed that car to its limit, man.
Good times.
I think in my other life I was a street racer or something. Yes, Ginger, I agree. I like Stangs. I like Stangs, man. I do. I like Vets too. My uncle used to have Vets all the time. Hey,
guys.
DJ, what's happening, brother? Good vibes, man. Thanks for coming in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Definitely subscribe to give a shout out to your channel, your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel is The Dreamer 5711. One word. The Dreamer 5711. I appreciate it.
Oh yes, CJ, you got to go back. I don't know when you came in, but it connected a wheel to the recumbent. Got to know more about this. Yeah, dude, go back and watch the video. It's impressive, man. It really is. That is.
Go to my YouTube channel a lot, and I'm gonna make a real slowed down close up video of it now, and kind of just like chill out on it for sure, because it's pretty much a done build for sure. Might end up putting an acrylic windshield on it for the
Oh, yeah,
season.
that'll make a difference too. Give you more aerodynamics. Cut
Yeah,
down on
yeah.
wind, split the wind.
And I won't be inventing it. They actually sell a windshield for them. These devices are well known in British Columbia, England, and all that. And if you
Yeah,
go over there and look at their stuff, they've got some exotic,
they
weird
have the what are those? It
fuselage you
starts
can
with a
get
V.
inside of.
It starts with a V. They have the bodies on them. It's a recumbent bike, but it has a body on it. Not a
Yep, yep.
the Villamobile or something like that. You know what I'm talking.
Valenti or
Yeah,
but
you
there's a couple brands, and the bodies on them are like, oh la la. I mean, Ferrari, F1
dude,
interior.
could you imagine if you had one of those bodies around that,
Love it.
dude? Yeah, you cut.
But
Oh my
you can't
god!
have it all. I gotta say,
Yeah,
because
one
you can
day.
only imagine what one of those things cost. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
in the end, how much are you gonna have? You're gonna have too much stuff at that point.
that's
Because
crazy.
it is fun riding on, but it isn't nothing like riding on board itself. It's so much more fun
Oh yeah,
riding
it's good
EC than
thrill.
sitting down for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just something that I play around with and I'm having fun with for the winter for sure. But come summertime, I'll take it out once in a while, but mainly I'll be on my EDC for sure.
Right. As far as says, if it doesn't have a V8, it's not a Mustang. Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Oh crap!
that's like those Mustangs like in the 80s, when they had the little small engines in them.
Yeah,
That was a bad time for cars.
Mustang 2 and stuff.
Yeah, that was not a good time for muscle cars, man. But we made it through all the questions. We're gonna start winding this stream down. We're about an hour and a half in.
Yep.
If there's anything anyone would like to add, if there's anything, Rahime, you would like to add,
Just thanks for having me, Charles.
dude,
And
it was a pleasure, man.
I had a great time and real nice meeting you too, for sure. And look forward to hooking up and doing some riding in the near future. We'll hook and stay in touch.
We'll plan it out. We'll definitely plan that out.
Yep. But
CJ, again, thank you in advance. We will talk soon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's we got some stuff planned out. Yeah, man, it's going to be a good end of the year. Good going into 2024. Remember, guys, everybody, just take your time and enjoy the ride. Savor the ride. Speed is not everything. If you're group riding, please be careful. If you're riding in the cold, bundle up. If you're riding in the wind, take it slow, because you just don't know. Again, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining us. But remember, you get on your wheel, you ride it like you hate it. You be safe out there, but you ride it like you hate it. I'm sorry. This is Rahime. We want to thank each and every one of you. Peace out. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
All right, later, y'all. Thanks, Charles.